Alright, what's going on, you guys? So this is a quick intro to the video. Came in my backyard just to get some better lighting, but I just wanted to say what's going on. You guys, this is an exclusive look into my mentorship program. It is a breakdown video of a few trades that we took this week. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope you guys take a lot of value from it. A lot of the things that I've explained in the 20 minutes this video is going to last, important information that once you get down packed and you learn how to see it and not just have it be seen for you, it changes your trading style completely. So this is how we look at our charts at DiveFX. I want you guys to make sure you're taking notes. So go grab a notebook and a pen, pause it right now. With that being said, let's dive over to the computer and let's get it started. What is going on, DiveFX family? I want to welcome you guys to another breakdown session here. And today we're going to be breaking down a few trades that we took this week. Let me go ahead and open up Telegram and show you guys the trades called out for the week. So we have some gold buys, gold sells, GBP CHF sells that we took a loss on, 2 gold sells, and then a GBP USD, which we caught 85 pips, and then a gold sell from today, which we lost 40 pips. So we're going to break these down right here from the first GBP CHF call out to the golds, the GBP USDs, and the golds again. So first, let's start off with gold, because that's the one that we've really been looking at a lot this week, and I think there's just so much learning opportunity from this pair that we can break down right now. So I'm going to go ahead and bring it back to about here, where we ended off last week during our first gold sell that we caught about 90 pips right towards the downside. It was really a bigger trade, but we cleared at about 90 pips, and so we logged that as 90 pips, and then from there the market decided to essentially pull back up, right? There was a lot of buying pressure. There was a lot of buyers that were kind of going against the market, right, as we were trying to sell. And so we started to see, gold buys, gold sells, gold buys, gold sells. But as you can see, this was really just painting a bigger picture, right? It was just creating a frame in which we're going to start trading in over the next couple of days, right? So we're not going to be trading this. We want to trade these moves, but we don't want to trade this type of movement, right? There's people who trade every day, and this is the stuff that they catch, but what we're waiting for is these movements like this, these fluid sell orders, those fluid buy orders that we can follow and catch, just very, very profitably, as we can say, right? So as you can see, now we're building essentially a wedge in between these two price ranges. And what I want you guys to understand is that really what's happening, right, isn't just some technical analysis in play. You see, there's buyers and sellers in this market that are essentially battling to see where they want to take this market. But as these buyers and sellers are doing this, the banks are waiting to manipulate and to essentially drive price in the direction they want to go, because you see the banks aren't doing this. They're not opening these orders. The banks are selling these orders. They're opening these sell orders, right? The banks are opening these sell orders, right? The big orders like this that just push up aggressively. So what's happening here is there's just a retail war, right, back and forth, and we're building what we call liquidity. And liquidity is essentially a space, right, where the market builds up a course of orders. Because if you really think about what's happened here, right, we have this point that we're going to draw right here, boom, this point, and this point that every person who learns on babypips.com, right, is telling themselves, oh, this is a resistance, right? This is a trend resistance, a counter resistance, which is, yes, true. But really what this is more so a buildup of people, right, who are doing this. They're placing short positions here, and they're having a stop loss set up here, right? And then we have more people who, once again, are doing the same thing, right? They're creating these sell orders. And once again, these individuals that are creating these sell orders. And as you guys know, when you guys go negative in a trade, what's happening? You're essentially losing money. And guess who's making it? The opposite party. And so what happens is once these orders, right, start to create themselves like this, we start to see moves in the market that really go against what's happening here. Okay? So let's talk about this. We see that the market is creating a big point of resistance, and as well as it's respecting this resistance level that we've had marked up since all the way over here to the left. It's respecting it nicely. At this point in time, this is where we call out our first trade, right? I'm gonna break this down a little bit more. Let me just come bring it back over here, and let's get into some smaller time frames. Right, this sell was essentially a sell order of a break of this wedge pattern, okay, to where we saw the market essentially drop 55 pips, hitting our TP1. right? Hitting our TP1, 55 pips. We doubled up on that order, which is this trade right here, the plus 55 pips. And once we closed, what did we see right after, right? We see a massive push from the market up. Now, the same way that we had orders building up here, okay, the same way that we had these orders building up here, we also had long orders with their stop losses being built down here at these points of resistance, okay? Now remember, this is just a bidding war of people going back and forth, okay, trying to make money from the movements that are happening. And yes, some of these individuals are making money. However, the ones who leave the trades open, the ones who have a bigger stop loss, example, the person who's entering here but has a stop loss all the way down here, right? There's people who are trading completely differently than you. They're creating these series of orders, right, that in order for the market to be able to go in the direction they want to, they need to be taken out, right? Because you can't essentially buy when there's an influx of sell orders here. So what needs to happen, the sell orders need to be activated, which allow them to go into drawdown, to then allow the buy orders to come in and push the market higher because of the influx of buy orders. And so here we have a perfect concept where the liquidity that's sitting down here, right, and as well as the liquidity sitting up here, is taken down. We eat a piece of that. But now this massive move, right? I want you guys to take a look at this. I'm very big on supply and demand zones. This is very clearly a demand zone, right? If we analyze a little bit here, these candles, right, especially on the 1 hour. I'm going to the 1 hour. If we analyze these candles, look at this. Wicks, right? The wicks indicate on the bottom side. This is simple price action. When you see these big wicks like this, there's a lot of buying power, right, in this area. Once we start to close those hourlies bullish and we start to see those wicks, and then we start to see almost like an expansion, right, where the bodies are closing higher and the wicks are getting stronger, well, that's when you start to realize, hey, look, there's a demand zone here. This is a price that people really want to have, that people really want to buy at. So our final take profit was down here. We closed our orders a little early. However, look at what happens the second we get down here. When we get to this strong demand zone, okay, which is pretty much the ending of our trade, when we get to this strong demand zone, we then see, okay, a massive push towards the upside, right? Look at this this kangaroo tail of a close, right? That gives us this nice strong bullish price action. Well, you see, this was a beautiful buy opportunity. We were in the sell all night. However, the beautiful buy opportunity happened in New York, right? Look at the timing as well. If we open up our shady kill zones tool, right? 8 a.m. This red zone marks New York session, right? At the beginning of New York session, boom, we see this massive push towards the upside. But now, why do we know that this is essentially going to happen? Well, you can create a trade, and I'm going to remove this for now, but we can create a trade that can go long once we hit this demand zone, set a stop loss 40 pips, right? Always a 40 pip stop loss, at least with gold. And we can target these areas. Why? Because you see, once you take out liquidity towards one side, the market wants to push back in the other where the money is. The question here, okay, the question that we need to ask ourselves every single time that we're trading these markets is, where is the money? Right? Because where the money is where you guys want to trade to, okay? You don't want to be in the wrong place where the money isn't, right? So, for example, if you see that the money is sitting up here, once I see that the market does something like this, I start to update these little money signs to X's. Why? Because I realize now, hey, this liquidity that was down here, all this money was taken out by the banks. Look at how it's painting that picture for us. All this money that was sitting right here was taken out by the banks. This was a beautiful buy opportunity, which we did not take. But look at where this market drives price to in the matter of 1 hour, right? This baby pumps. And even if your entry was right here, let's say, for example, and once again, 40 pips stop loss, right, would keep you protected in this same trade. Look at this. If we were to target this level where we also know we have liquidity, guys, you need to start drawing this out for yourself before you can just see it, right? Look at this. right? What are people doing here? They're selling. People here are selling. You're seeing people create downward pressure in these zones. And then what happens once again when we get to this area, right? Within this same 1 hour candle, we have more downward pressure. But you got to also remember, there's a big pocket of money up here. Look at how strongly this market was attracted to this price. This would have been a beautiful trade over 150 pips, right? Or 130, 100, almost a 200 pip move, this entire thing. But could have been anywhere from 200 pips to 150 pips, 130 pips, right? That you would have cleared right here in just 1 hour. Why? Because the market wanted to take out all the money that was sitting up there, right? Wanted to take out all the money that was sitting up there. And what happens after, right? What happens after? And this was a sell order that I didn't personally call out. Okay, I didn't personally call it out, but it was a sell order that I was anticipating because based on what I was seeing here with the markets. If we get into some smaller time frame zones, right? For example, into the 15-minute, we see that of our right. I love getting into the 15-minute for entries because check this out. We see that once this money is taken out, right? Look at this X, right? Once this money is taken out, we close below our counter trend line, right? We close below our counter trend line. And then what happens? We respect it and we continue the drop. This right here on a 15-minute time frame, right? Even the 30-minute, look at this 30-minute doji. Right, we still had some buying pressure, which is why the market just didn't drop automatically, but it gave us those confirmations. Once this money was taken out, we knew that this market definitely had opportunity to come towards the downside. This right here was another phenomenal trade. Now, the reason I didn't enter it, and the reason I was just watching it and didn't enter it, was because we had already made money off of this first gold sell, right? However, I was already tired from trading London, right? Because this right here was London. This move, 3 a.m., I was awake through all of this, all these hours where the market was just, destroying orders, destroying buy orders, just pushing down even more to then at 8 a.m. pump like this. I was already out of it. I mean, I saw it happen. I exited my trade, but I was already out of it. And so I was just analyzing at this point and learning from what was happening because it was very clear that everything that I had drawn out had played out. And that made me, that fulfilled me, because even though this wasn't a profitable trade that we took or that we called out, it was something that I anticipated. And because I understood and my markups explained what was happening, I knew where this market had the potential to go. And that's, where we now see the market continue downward, hits this area down here, right? But look at this. We're still respecting this demand zone. Okay, we're still respecting this demand zone. Right? Look at this. Respecting, right? And then we start to consolidate. Now this consolidation area right here, from a bigger time frame, looks a little bit like this, right? To where we're at now. And this was today's sell, where we could have possibly had some selling opportunity. However, the hourly closed with this bullish, kind of like just wick on the top, which after a doji with a lot of bullish power from the bottom, you need to kind of see it as, okay, the market is selling. Okay, the market has pressure from sellers, so it drops, right? Engulfing. The market continues to drop. However, the hour shows that there's a lot of buyers in play here as well, right? Look at the buyers that are in play here because of this wick that was created. You see that? This entire body on a 1 hour time frame, there's a lot of buyers here. This next one is telling you, right? This next one is telling you, hey, yes, there's buyers, but after the buyers push the price up this aggressively, right? The sellers came back and brought it right back. There's still resistance from the buyers, and it looks like the sellers are overpowering the buyers. However, this is just like a fake out, because look at what happens after. The market continues up and respects our demand zone, right? So yes, we did see points where the market wanted to come back down, but this is the trade that we caught. On the 4 hour, we also had engulfing closes, but clearly it's Friday. The market wants to do what it wants, and we cleared minus 40 pips. But that is gold. All right, guys, that is gold. That is a breakdown of gold. And then we're going to go into GBP USD. We're going to break this baby down real quick. All right. GBP USD, just some quick updates on it. Yeah, so pretty much GBP USD as we were looking at it. Let's go into a 4-hour time frame. GBP USD had fallen aggressively from these points, right? We had caught this GBP USD sell. Maybe it wasn't called out, but I caught this prior. And so then we push down. We continue to push down. Market starts to consolidate. And then we start to see these upward pushes towards the upside. Now, I start paying attention around here, right? Once we have some good points of support, some places where we can kind of see areas of demand, areas of supply, right? So right here, we have a big demand zone, right? You guys want to do this, you can make sure it says demand zone so you remember it. But we also have these two areas of resistance, what we call supply zones, right? Where the market hits this point and then it sells off. The market hits the point again and it sells off, right? Because when there's a lot of supply, when there's a big supply of something, prices go down. But when there's high demand, prices go up. So in this supply zone, we see this first hit. Boom. We see this second hit. And so now we know what? There's money sitting there, right? There is money sitting in that area. Once again, market sells off, more money being created. But really, what's the money doing? Remember, it's just giving area for the banks to come in and take out those orders. And so we went ahead and we were anticipating a potential buy opportunity here because as well as on the 4 hours, we started to see these engulfing closes with these big wicks showing rejection. But really, what are we seeing? Massive amounts of liquidity, right? The money is sitting up here. So we entered a trade at 73150, set stops to 7860. Okay, this was our original entry right here, 7860, like this, right below this low, 7860, right? We go into the 30-minute, 15-minute time frames. I like GU from the 30-minute. We entered here. We set stops below the prior low, 860. At this point, it was, see the timing on this, it was New York open about 9:30, almost 10 p.m. By 11, we started to see the market already push up. And then by London the next day, we were already at TP2. And then, no, not by London. This is, let me see. Yeah, by Asian session, sorry. By Asian session, we were already at TP2. By London, we were already approaching TP3. And then by New York, we got to TP3 officially, right? So that was the entire trade. Let me take this out. Let me take out this Asia kill zone. Boom. Okay, perfect. And so that was a trade, as you can see. It took a little while, but we definitely saw the push that we were looking for. Now, this demand zone, for those of you who are thinking about what's happening down here, remember, we have money sitting down here too. And all we're doing here is we're simply catching, right, a long-term retracement. And so what I'll do is I'll come in here and I'll set up this fib for you guys so you guys can see it. My Fibonacci from the top of the run to the bottom of the run. Boom. Right? We're just seeing a perfect 618 retracement. That's what we're trading. We can possibly see a 78 to 702 retracement. This for me is like my sell zone area. I think this is a perfect place to be able to sell this market. It can hit our counter trend line, and then we can see that continuation move to maybe these lows down here. It really just depends on how bearish GBP USD is right now. You know, we do have a lot of liquidity sitting up here too. GBP pairs have been very bullish, but so has the DXY. The DXY has been going up a lot, so the dollar is getting stronger, and we may see just a war between these two. But for now, that's what we've read on GBP USD. And then, of course, we got to discuss the GBP CHF, which is essentially a break of a trend line, right? We looked for the sell. We had CHF news that came out bearish, right? So if the CHF news is bearish, if the CHF news is bullish, then the GBP news is bearish. So I'll explain that one more time. We had GBP news. We had Swiss franc news come out at about 4 a.m. that was bullish for the Swiss franc, which means if the Swiss franc goes up, the GBP CHF has to go down. So GBP CHF was anticipated to go down. It didn't. It actually broke, hit our stop loss, and then continued up. That's the reason we have stop losses. We could have possibly caught the buy, but ideally there was just something about the GBP pairs that were extremely bullish. And of course, hitting our counter trend lines once again, another opportunity to enter. GBPs were just crushing it this week. And so, guys, those were the trades, man. I really hope you guys take these 20 minutes to just be able to learn and to be able to facilitate your growth with these charts and these trades that we took this week. More live sessions are coming your way. More trades are coming your way, guys. So I really hope that we can continue to just study up on this information, because eventually it's going to be you guys calling these out before we even see anything together. And that's the whole point of this mentorship, to help you guys get to the next level. So if you have any questions, write them down in the open table chat. I'd love to hear from you guys. Let me know if you have any questions, guys. Take care. All right, guys, with that being said, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Your support is always appreciated here. I hope you guys got a lot of value from that information. I hope you guys are able to apply that to your trading. If you guys want more details, check the description below. I'm going to have all the links to my free chats, to my mentorship, and all the different services I provide, guys. So make sure you use those links below. Talk to you guys soon. Let's go.